documents that are being considered, one of them would require a warrant for every query of lawfully collected data. If that were to pass and get into the bill, would the president veto that bill?
We do not believe that that serves the national security interest of the United States. A warrant requirement from our perspective would go too far in undermining the very purpose of FISA, and frankly, it would put victims at risk.
Biden regime NSA stooge Jake Sullivan wants you to know, America, that the Reforming Intelligence and Securing America Act ensures that the intelligence community has the tools that it needs to identify and disrupt threats to the American people from hostile nation states, terrorist organizations, hackers, spies, and more, end quote. You know, the people the Biden regime let into the country by the millions.
According to the Wall Street Journal, the FBI, Department of Defense, and others have been conducting a year-long investigation into so-called gate crashers. It's happening all over the U.S., according to the report.
Section 702 continued to tighten its grip, choking the life out of the Bill of Rights of American citizens.
Where are those transmissions you intercepted? What have you done with those plans? We intercepted no transmissions!
The legislation coming from the other body gives the government unchecked authority to order Americans to spy on behalf of their government. This was slipped in, Mr. President, in the last minutes in the House of Representatives bill, and this is the first time this language has ever been considered here in the United States Senate. Under current law, Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, the government can order the phone companies and email and internet service providers to hand over communications. This bill expands that existing power dramatically. It says, and I quote, the government can force cooperation from, quote, any other service provider who has access to equipment that is being or may be used to transmit or store wire or electronic communications. So think for a moment about the millions of Americans who work in buildings and offices in which communications are stored or passed through. After all, every office building in America has data cables running through it. And the people are not just the engineers who install, maintain, and repair our communications infrastructure. There are countless others who could be forced to help the government spy, including those who clean offices and guard buildings. If this provision is enacted, the government can deputize any of these people against their will and force them, in effect, to become what amounts to an agent for Big Brother.
So, Director Wray, does the FBI currently comply in every way with the current Section 702 of FISA?
My understanding is that we're in compliance with the law.
Okay, so you think you do. All right, how do you respond to an unsealed document released by the U.S. Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court on May 19th, 2023, which states your agency, the FBI, illegally misused this tool more than 278,000 times between 2020 and early 2021? And is this number of 278,000 abuses accurate?
Representative Andy Biggs attempted to impose a requirement for the FBI to obtain a warrant, but that ended in a tie vote and a full display of uniparty rule. Speaker Mike Johnson cast the tie-breaking vote against the amendment.
We have to know who the enemy is and what we have to do. And if it is a police state on our doorstep, we're already stepping in. I'll tell you what, we better wake up and respond to it.
We have learned is that the IRS, in fact, has been using AI to access bank accounts of American citizens without any kind of a search warrant or even without any specific claim that they have committed a crime. So this was something that was discovered by an undercover journalist, and what they found is that the IRS has claimed that they have access to every single person's bank account. This person also indicated that they've been working with the Department of Justice and that they have absolutely no problem whatsoever going after the little guy to make sure that they are paying their taxes.
John Bound reporting for InfoWars.